In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to start your own blog. These steps can be used for any blog that you can think of. So in this case, we are actually working on a food blog. It's colorfulrecipes.com, but you can do it for anything else that requires you to have a website with a content management platform, so you can post articles, updates, pages, pictures, anything like that. Even like if you have a small business and you need a website that could act as a business card that presents your business and talks about the services that you offer, you could also follow these steps to get this accomplished. So the simple steps that you need to create your own food blog. Number one, you have to think about the name that you need for your blog. Ours, we called it colorfulrecipes.com. You can think of something related to baking if you are into baking, or maybe healthy eating or vegan or anything like that. Put that in your name, create a nice, catchy, short name, and see if it's available. Second, creating a hosting account. This is where your website files and images will actually live. Then you register the domain name on Bluehost. That's what we're going to use for hosting and domain. And then you install WordPress, which is free. It's the content management platform that we'll use to manage the all the content on the website. And we'll get into that later. At this point, once you install WordPress on the hosting account and you already have a registered domain name, you're done. Your site, your blog is up and running. It's public. It's available, and anything that you share on it, from posts to recipes to pages, can be accessible by anybody that you share the blog with. Last step, number 6, it's optional, but it's definitely really needed, But yeah, I mean, it's optional in the beginning. You don't have to do this on day one, but you should definitely consider this if you want to make your blog look nice. And this includes purchasing a theme, like a professional looking theme, and hopefully something that lives or sits on top of a framework like the Genesis framework, in order for your blog to be really better and scalable in the future. It would be a lot better to do it this way instead of just choosing a free theme that lacks support and updates. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's the process that I put together. It's pretty much what I just went over, starting with the name and then hosting account, domain, installing WordPress, and the final steps of Genesis and Foodie Pro if you're doing a food blog. Number 1, we have to create the account on Bluehost. So to get started, simply click on the Bluehost link. We are affiliates of Bluehost, obviously, as I mentioned on the page. Here's what will happen. It takes you straight into the selection of the plan. The one that we recommend is the starter plan, because there's really no reason to pay more in the beginning. And you probably don't know what all these other things mean, from the necessity to have CDN or having SSL certificate on your blog. If you're starting new and this is your first day creating your website, start with the starter plan, and then you can easily upgrade anytime you want later. So let's go ahead and click select. And now you can choose a domain name. So I have this one here that I thought we could start with because I know it's available. It's called homecreativebaking.com. I'm not going to go ahead and actually buy it right now, but I'm just kind of showing you how it works. If you were to put in a name here that somebody else already registered, obviously Bluehost will notify and it will tell you that the name is taken and to choose another one. Click next. Here we go. Congratulations, this name is available. homecreativebaking.com. You can actually type in here all your personal information. This is typical with any form on the internet where it asks you to register and create an account. Now the fun part starts here with the package information, account plan. You have a few choices to choose from here. This is still the cheapest plan that I chose, the starter plan initially, but it's showing you here that in order for you to get the cheapest price, which is equivalent to $3.95 a month, you'll have to commit to 36 months, or basically pay upfront the equivalent of $3.95 times 36. If you want to go only with 12 months, it will be equivalent to $5.95 a month times 12. And I don't think they have a month-to-month option anymore. It just doesn't make sense. So if you think that you're going to be in it for the long haul and you're definitely committed to doing this, certainly choose the starter 36-month, $3.95 a month. But if you're not sure and you're experimenting, then maybe it is okay for you to go with the $5.95 option for a year, and then you can reassess after that. Moving on, the only option that I recommend is actually there are two. The domain privacy protection. This can be useful if you want your actual identity to be hidden and not associated with the .com name that you're choosing or with your domain name. So if somebody looks you up or looks up the domain and tries to find out the name or the home address of the person who registered the domain, this 99 cents per month can hide that information. But if you don't care, then you can uncheck it. Site Backup Pro, I personally recommend it unless there are other options that you already have to back up your site. But if you don't have anything else that you can use, then this is actually very useful. It ensures that your site is backed up regularly, and then if something happens and breaks on it, you could easily use it to restore. And that's about it. This is the only option I recommend, $1.99 a month. You could choose the domain privacy. You can actually change your mind later and add or remove any of these services, by the way. Billing information, you put in your credit card information, and then you click on Submit. After clicking Submit, you simply log in to Bluehost, and just make sure that you are on the Hosting tab on the upper left corner here. And then in there, under Website Builders, click on Install WordPress. And this will take you to the page where you can click on install or import installation if you already have one. Obviously, this is all a brand new installation, so all you have to do is click on this install button. But first, keep in mind that if you are willing to pay Bluehost to assist you in the installation process, they do offer a paid option or paid options, actually 3 different ones that you can choose from. In my opinion, I think the installation is very simple, that you really don't need to do this, but there is some value in it in terms of the theme installation, and they give you a theme credit if you were to actually purchase a theme from their services. For now, let's just stick with the cheap option. Let's just click on install. Shows up as loading. It's loading the installation. And now it's asking you, where do you want to install it? Which directory and under which domain? So if you only have one domain, and in this case you probably do, you simply make sure it is chosen and you leave the directory as it is. Don't type anything in here, leave it blank. Show in directory as it does right now does not mean that it will be installed in a folder called directory. This is just telling you, go ahead and type a folder. But like I said, ignore this and leave it blank. In the event that you are planning to have a website that goes beyond the WordPress blog, then you could potentially type in here blog to install it in a subdirectory or subfolder called blog. But if your entire website is the blog and nothing else, then there's absolutely no reason to type anything in here. Just leave it the way it is. But for the purpose of this demo, and since this is just a test installation, I'm just going to type the word test here to install it in that test directory. And then I'm going to click on check domain to ensure that 2minuteblog.com/test does not already contain a WordPress installation. Here we go. Last step, you're almost there. I highly encourage you to click on show advanced options, and here's why. Now, obviously, you can change this later, whether you choose the advanced options or not. It will always allow you to change this. It's a little bit more difficult to change the admin username and password. Therefore, this is very important to actually do it right now. Now, I do not recommend at all using admin as your username because there are millions of automated scripts all over the internet, from hackers to other people trying to break into blogs for spyware and adware purposes, who try and attempt to log in with brute force attacks and all kind of different methods into blogs using admin as the username. So why choose something that is that simple to guess? So pick something else, like for example, user 20. As silly as it sounds, but this could be your username. Or it could be your name, for example. So you could pick Nick, 541. And if this is your admin account, nobody is going to guess that it's called Nick541. Plus, it has absolutely nothing to do with your display name that will show up on the website later when you actually publish posts. That can be completely separate, and it could be your name or whatever you want your visitors to see. Your admin password, you could leave it as this or even perhaps make it even more sophisticated because you really want your password to be complex enough. Otherwise, it can be easily guessed. This has happened to me in the past where the password was very simple and it was hacked into. Anybody like a 12, 13-year-old nowadays can actually just do this and set up a script that tests very weak credentials and log in and take over your site if they want it. So make sure that this is complex enough. I recommend having special characters in it and lowercase and uppercase and numbers, which this password does. Make sure you write this down on a piece of paper, good old-fashioned way. There's nothing wrong with that. And leave the automatically create a new database for this installation checked. Confirm that you have read the terms and conditions. I'm going to go ahead and copy this so I don't forget it. Nick541 is the username, and go ahead and install it. And here we go. Now it's trying to sell you stuff. So meanwhile, while the installation is progressing, it's trying to get you to buy a theme. Let's not do that now. And if you scroll up, you'll see the progress bar here indicating where it's at in the process of purchasing in the process of installing WordPress. And it's almost done. You can click on View Details to actually see what's happening. View Details one more time, and it's telling you that it's pretty much done, just finalizing the process. View Credentials, again, if you did not copy them in the previous screen, this is your last chance to do so. Here it is, scrolling down. Your WordPress installation is finished. Credentials, click View. Scroll down again, and here it is. This is the blog address. This is the URL that you would need to visit if you wanted to log in and administer it. In other words, this is how you can publish content on the website as well. Username and password right over here. Let's go ahead and click on it. Visit the website for the first time. Here we go. Website coming soon. It is not live because it needs you to log into it for the first time. So let's do that. Admin login. Let's go back and make sure the username is Nick541. Okay, so this is the username, Nick541. And the password, I had already copied it into the clipboard, so click login. And now that you're logged in, there's one button that you have to click on. It says here at the top, your site is currently displaying a coming soon page. Once you are ready to launch, click here. So you click on this, and you're done. Your website is live, and here's how you can confirm. Click here. That's it. Your blog is 100% online. Of course, it looks embarrassing, but this is a start. So right now, before you click here to go live, or after, depends if you care to really display your website like this. Perhaps nobody even knows that you're live, so you can, work on it and then publicize it later. But in any case, there's a lot that you need to do here that is extremely easy, from using built-in functionality in WordPress to customize your website, change the title, change the plugins, remove and add some plugins as needed. If we go back to the site here, there's a lot that you can do in terms of the widgets that show up on the left side. Do you want to show the recent posts? Do you want to show the recent comments? You probably don't care to show the meta information here, site admin logout. This isn't 1990, so nobody really cares about this anymore. You can just hide this information because there's no need for it to be displayed publicly. And you can also change the footer, probably powered by WordPress, and whatever you want to show there, the posts, the font used for the header, the title, everything is modifiable here, and we'll cover these options in future posts. So there you have it. In this tutorial, we covered how to create a website using WordPress and purchase a hosting account and domain name in Bluehost.